Hello, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am here to bring you a stamp set that I just wanted to share with you that's going to be coming out in January. It is called Dragonfly Dreams. It is right here. This is a card we're going to be doing tonight with it. Here's the stamp set, and it's got a punch, the Dragonfly punch that matches it. It also has ribbon that matches, that goes with it. It has little ladybug trinkets, and I'll show you what those look like in a minute. And then we have a paper stack. And this is what the papers look like. There's that one. And then here's the back side of it. Here is, I'm trying to get them all. This is one, and that's the back side of it. Here is another. It's got really pretty, it's all dandelions and dragonflies. Here's some with the dragonfly. Right here, I love this paper with the dragonfly. It's really, really pretty. And then the back side of it, you can actually color that with your colored pencils or markers or whatever. But there's that one. Here's the next one. This is one that I'm not real crazy about. I just don't like that background color in it. And then the flip side of that is the Misty Moonlight. And I will tell you all the colors that go with these in just a second. Here is the dragonflies, and the back side of it is, I love this green. That's my favorite right there. And then here's this dragonfly paper, which the punch will punch out the big butterflies, and also this are dragonfly and this size dragonfly. So you can use that with your punches. Here is a blue stripe with a calypso coral on the other side. Here is blue, the Misty Moonlight, and it has bumblebees on the other side. These are dandelions with a calypso coral on the back side. This is Blackberry Bliss with the bumblebee. And then we have Mossy Meadow here with the bumblebee stripes. So that's the papers that you get. You get 4 of each kind, so which is a good deal. And I'm going to show you a couple samples of what I've done with this. And like I said, here are 2 cards I did. One is vertical, one is horizontal. And what it is, I've used the dragonfly, and then you just open it through the slit, and there's your inside of your card. This little piece is what I punched out up here. So we're going to close that back. I did this one the same way. I just did it vertical. So when you just open your card, and there's your inside. So we're going to be making a card like this. We're going to use a different paper though. And then my other 2 samples are, this is all paper. I did no stamping except for the sentiment right there. It says, "May good things grow all year long." And then I actually punched out another one of the dragonflies and put into the inside of my card. And then I took this one and I stamped the wildflowers and colored them with my Stampin' blends. I colored the dragonfly. I actually stamped him and cut him out with the punch. And then on the inside, I put the little cluster of dragonflies in the inside and colored them with colors to match on my outside. So those are my samples that I did. And so we're going to get started with one of these cards. And they're so simple to make. So simple. So what I'm going to do first, here's what we're going to be using. And I'm going to layer these 3 layers real quick. Hope I got the right glue out. One of them's running out really bad. And what I want to do is I want to run glue here, because of when I punch that out and use my little punch out piece, I want it to be all stuck together. And then I'm going to just adhere this to the Mossy Meadow. And I was going to tell you the colors that paper took. And it is, I lost my, here it is. It is Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, and Whisper White. So you have a lot of colors that will go with that. I'm using the Mossy Meadow and the Bumblebee right here for my card. So I'm going to layer these up, and I just did 1/8 inch layers because I just wanted a little bit of color showing through there. I didn't need tons of it. So we're going to layer these 3 up, and then we'll add them to the white card base. And it wanted to stick faster than I wanted it to stick. So we're going to bring that back up, and we're going to try it again. There we go. So we're going to take that, we're going to put that on our card base. I've already folded it. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and folded. So I'm going to add this to my card base, and I'm going to let this dry for a second while I put my inside piece in, because I want this glue to kind of get tacky for when I use my punch on the front of it. So we're going to put this together. There we go. And as you can see, I'm using a different color. I just want to try different papers since I was doing this. While this is drying, and I did the same thing on my last card, I didn't get this one corner with too much glue on it. So I'm going to add some glue and hold that down a second. So, okay, now while that's drying, I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it to the inside, and the orientation of it doesn't really matter because they're all going different directions. So we're going to put this down on the inside. There we go. Okay, let's close that up. And what I'm going to do is I'm taking the label punch. It's been in our catalog for a while. And what you do to make a place for your dragonfly, you just want to insert this all the way in. And then you want to just punch it. Now I'm going through a lot of layers of cardstock, so I'm going to have to punch hard. And it worked. I have to stand up. There we go. We got it. And there we go. That's our front. Now I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to make sure it's kind of glued down. Yep, and it's glued down around the edges. So we're going to lay that to the side to use it. I'm going to bring in my dragonfly. And we're going to stamp him with the black memento. And then we're going to color him with the Stampin' blend. So let's just ink him up really good. Make sure he's got ink all over him. I want to make sure all of my lines are inked really well. And we're going to stamp him towards the bottom. I'm going to make sure he fits in there. So if you guys can see this. We're just going to stamp him down here towards the bottom. I think I'm going to stamp him this way, just to be sure. And there he is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Stampin' blends. Let's just cover this up for a second. I'm using the Smoky Slate and the light and dark to do his body. So I'm going to take the light and I'm going to color him in. And then I'm going to take the dark on the small end, and I'm just going to add some darkness up here, just some shadow effect, and I'm going to go in under each of these little lines, just giving a little bit of a shadow under each line. Not doing anything fancy to him. And then I've decided, I've done both of my dragonflies with the Calypso Coral. I think I'm going to come in, I want a light green, so I'm using Granny Apple Green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the the dark with the small end, and I'm just going to add some lines here and there. I'm not trying to color on each one of these lines, because you know when a dragonfly is in flight, you see light and dark in different places. So I will darken him right up here around his body. Okay, now I'm going to take the light. I don't do anything fancy to these because I just want them to be light and carefree, I guess. So what I'm doing is I'm just coloring the wings, and then if I need to, I can go back in with the dark. I like to lay my dark down first, because then my light will kind of move it, because it's wet, and blend it in a little bit more than if we left it. I don't know, that's just my preference with coloring, and we all have our own preference, so whatever's easy for you to do, you do that. But this just makes it so easy. Okay, now I can come back if I want to add some dark in there, but I really think I'm going to leave him light, just use the dark that I have in there, because I want him to be lighter than what these leaves are. I'm going to take the punch, and I'm just going to line that up, and it lines up so easy. I don't want to get my head in here really, but and then you just punch it. Now I have a white little dragonfly that I could use. I could color that or whatever if I wanted to. Now what I'm going to do with my dragonfly is he's going to go right into the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add very little glue just down his body. I don't want it on the wings. And I'm putting it on lightly because I don't want it leaking out all over the place. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to lay it down in there. And just hold it a second. I'm going to pull up on the wings and open my card. And there's what my dragonfly is going to look like on my card. I'm going to come in and I'm using the Thank You for Your Kindness stamp. I'm going to ink it up. And I'm just going to stamp this right about here, because I like it down low with what I'm doing with it. I'm going to take this little cutout piece just to add a little bit more dimension to my card. And I'm going to ink that up a little bit. Ink it up, glue it up a little bit. Not a ton. And we're going to lay it right down here underneath the same. And the only thing I have to do now is add some ribbon to my card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bumblebee. I'm going to take and stick it just through where I did the label punch. Come up with it. These cards are so simple, so simple. And I hope you give them a try, because it has a little wow factor. And a while back we sold a bigger dragonfly, and I used that a lot, and I've used a butterfly before. So, you know, it's whatever kind of, whatever you'd want to use in that would slip through that slot there. So I'm going to bring this around, and I'm going to tie my knot. And then I'm going to just trim off my edges here. And we can make that as long or as little as we like. And one thing about this, it's not really going to go anywhere. I can put a pop dot or a glue dot under that to hold it down. Look at me throwing paper all over. And I'm going to put, since I got that just a tiny bit loose, I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm going to stick it underneath that knot and just glue that knot down. There we go. So that'll kind of keep that in place, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my dragonfly wings up here. And we are basically done. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of Winkostella to his body. And I actually think, because he tends to be close to the same color as the paper with the grains, I'm going to go ahead and do his wings too. I'm just going to make him shine a little bit. Which is really cool. So we've got him all glittery. I didn't do that to the other ones that you saw, but with him I think I'm going to. I like the green glittered like that. So let's move this out of our way and all of our junk so we can see what we did. The sizes of my paper, I told you my card size. And then I just used 1/8 of an inch. It's 5 1/4 by 4, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, 5 by 3 3/4. And then my inside piece is 5 1/4 by 4. Basic measurements, basic stamping, and just a little wow factor with the punch and having your dragonfly out to the front. Easy card. This stamp set will be coming out in January in our mini catalog. This was available to the demonstrators that are going to be going to a virtual event with Stampin' Up! Next week. And we signed up for the event, we were able to purchase the stamp set. So I jumped on it. Anything new that I can get and show ahead of time, I really like to do. So here is all the cards. That's the 3. I've done 3 my sample and then 2 videos. And then here's my sample, and that's my little ladybug that is in this little container. And you get, let's see if I can see where it says. I don't have the best device. Quantity 20. You get 20 of these little ladybugs in this container. So I imagine that this is going to be probably maybe a bundle in the new catalog in January when it comes out. So if you like this set, you might want to put that on a wish list for January. I would love to help you with that. If you don't already have a demonstrator, you can find me through the demonstrator lookup. My name is Rita Holmes from Hamilton, Ohio. You can go to my website, which is ritaholmes.stampinup.net, and find me there. You can go to my, you can leave a comment on the YouTube video. You can visit my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, and join it where I do techniques every Tuesday. I'm getting ready this Tuesday to start a fun fold series. So every week for a couple weeks, I think I'm going to be doing a different fun fold as a technique, different techniques, just to mix it up a little bit. So with all that being said, that is all I have to show you. Just how pretty these papers are, how easy the stamp set is to use. All of the sayings are really good. Let me just tell you what they say real quick. You are an inspiration is one of them. For a true friend. May good things grow all year long. Or thank you for your kindness. So it's got 4 different sentiments in it. It's got the wildflowers. It's got the 2 dragonflies. And here's dragonfly wings. But I haven't figured out to turn them unless you mirror image it to do the wings for this. So haven't figured that little guy out yet, but I'm going to try to. So anyway, that's the stamp set. You've seen the papers, you've seen the trinkets, the ribbon, the punch, and I think all of this was like $63, $64 maybe. So I don't know what they're going to do for their bundle, if they're going to make it as a suite for everything, or if they're just going to do the stamp set and the punch. But anyway, look for the new catalog. If you don't get our catalogs and you would like one, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to get you one when those come out. Or you can send me your address and that now, and I'll have one sent to you through the automatic shipment. So with all that being said, you guys have a great night, a great tomorrow, and be safe. Thanks, and have a great night.